Dearly redheaded, we are choosing consciousness today to get through this thing called grief. Interesting word, grief. It means love, which makes for a mighty good joke. But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing else. Just joy. And if the big picture tends to bring you down, go crazy once your life goes. Woo!
Number 5, it's a Friday, likely in February.
Somewhere around there.
So I thought when I get my Magdalene project out, my Laugh So I Don't Die out, I know where I'm going from there. And I think I told you that I'm going to do small seminars and small Zoom meetings.
You did. You mentioned that.
Did I mention that on here?
Was it? It might have been last week's recording, which I think already went out, or it could have been when we were done. But I know you did mention something about that.
So I finally figured out that I am, and I've talked to, it's been well received. I would like to, I would say by, this is airing in February. So probably by the time this airs, I would have liked to have scheduled, I still have that capacity limitation thing, but I'm thinking if I could do 2 in-person small seminars a month, small group, and 2 Zoom meetings, that I will be on my way to discussing heavy-duty topics with people and working to make them funny. So I will have the jokes are easy for me, but I will be open to people's scenarios who have done a certain amount of healing and want to find the humor in this stuff. And I'll have an outline that I can deviate from. Going to lead with dissociation because I think that's the thing that sort of is the most universal, whether people realize or not that they do it. So that's the next leg of this.
I think recording something like that can be good too.
Oh, wow.
Provided that your person, from a Zoom standpoint anyway. I don't know what that looks like from an in-person standpoint. Maybe there's a way that works, but also, I would think from a Zoom standpoint, record that. And then you can release it on your channel.
Wow.
Provided the people you're recording with want that to be a thing.
Wow.
You know?
I can't even, I don't set up my own Zoom calls.
Well, have your assistant set up your Zoom calls. Recording them is easy.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, technology eludes me.
Yeah.
Not from the AI doesn't elude me because that I can I can understand the magnitude of the impact, but technology, those little sequential steps, I don't know what it is. But oh well.
Yeah.
I told you my son used to make fun of me.
I mean, that's one of those things. Frank and I will say that all the time because Frank and I are close in age. He's only about 5 years older than I am. So like we have the ability to kind of say, as do you, you've lived in a time before the internet and also with it, technology and not. So sometimes it's a little harder not necessarily for us because we've gotten to the point where we've been living longer with the technology than we weren't without it, where folks like yourself are on the opposite. Right?
Gosh, I don't look at
that's hard
myself as
shit like that is hard to learn. That's why old people are getting scammed by all these people calling saying, it's the IRS. We need you to pay us in Walmart gift cards. And okay,
I don't look at myself as that much older than you are.
Well, maybe not.
But good to know that you do.
No, I'm not saying you. All right, sorry. I should have said like Gen Xers or whatever, right?
I look at it less about, I know plenty of people my age who can do it. I just don't have that linear sequential thought. So every time I do something, it's like doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's anything. That's anything. I had the woman who cleans for me. God, I sound so, I don't cook, I don't clean. Well, I'm fun. But the woman who cleans for me, there was a shelf I needed put together, and I went to put it together, and I was overwhelmed by, the internet tells you how fucking easy it is, and I'm like, okay, I get the shelf, and I'm like overwhelmed by it. And I left it out, and she put it together for me. She didn't even need the directions. And I'm like, wow, do I want to admit? She also, there's my sink that has, which I didn't know, has a manual ability, or it has an ability where you do this and the water comes on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
You have a faucet with a sensor in it. Yes.
Okay. And it drove, people, when people are around me, they understand why it's autism and not just
right.
So she was like trying to show me how to activate the sensor, and I'll stand in front of the sink, and it's just so much easier to do it manually. I don't know why. Anything that requires thought is paralyzing.
Okay.
And you can.
You didn't grow up in a house with one of those like touch lamps? Your mom never had one of those?
My mother was on the spectrum.
Like my grandma had one of those lamps where it was like a regular lamp that goes on your end table and you touch it and it like lights up. When you're kids, that's awesome.
No, I think my mother and I were in a special kind of bubble.
Sounds like it.
We had this, and we both, I'll tell you what, I don't miss her more as time goes on, but I recognize as time goes on how special it was to have somebody that just got me, and how little sometimes we had to discuss things to know. And I want everybody to know, despite what was unfortunate about my experiences, I always had that. I always had her.
Sure.
And obviously I was supposed to, and obviously, it was as it should be. Yeah, I don't know why, like, I can remember, I think, and it's a guess, you remember Dr. Bob Stein, Dr. Bob, talking about the difference between the right and the left?
Yes.
All right. Well, that, to me, when I was young, and the gifted programs were more right brain, less reading, more project oriented. There were gifted programs that said you read, the regular kids are reading one chapter, you read 3, and I hated those. But when they were project oriented and there was some right brain element, I could thrive. So I just think it was always under the radar.
Yeah.
And then I remember it wasn't until college, I graduated in 91, that email came out. And so I remember being at SUNY Binghamton, utilizing email, and it was blowing my fucking mind. So I think I really dodged a bullet because I got out of school before it was too big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then I just think through business. I mean, I've been in the business, the numbers, pictures and patterns in finance, again, that stuff I can do in my head.
Yeah.
But cut and paste, pain.
Yeah.
Agony. And I mean, like, it puts my brain in agony when I have to think about anything linear sequential. Oof. Yeah, I can remember again raising somebody neurodivergent and having one of their coaches say to me about certain behaviors that another coach had said to him that they thought it was an act.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that often comes up for me that people must think this is an act.
Yeah. I think it's stuff like that can sometimes go both ways, I guess, right? Like,
I don't know.
I guess it all depends on like how you look at it, right? Because I know like you say about the gifted programs, right? And that's like a good way to like find people with autism, but also not.
Well,
You know,
when they
because like it's hard to tell.
well, when they cut the programs out, autism popped.
Well, right, yeah. Because like I remember kids that I went to school with that they definitely weren't autistic, but they were just fucking smart. So like the regular classes for them, they weren't paying attention as much as they would have when they went to like the gifted programs. And it wasn't, I don't think it was because they were autistic. It's just because they were fucking bored with normal kid shit and they needed to be taxed a little bit more. Right. So you could, so like, I guess maybe what I'm trying to say in a weird convoluted way is like that sort of like those gifted programs hurt and helped. Right. Like, I don't know, you know, because you're right. Once they stopped those programs, it was like,
Yeah, and
that's where it's at. But then you've also read, like, I remember, like, I had one of those psychology classes in college because you just fucking had to, you know? But I remember, like, reading something about, like, a study where they were, like, misdiagnosing a ton of kids because, like I said, they were just bored. But they were getting labeled as autistic or ADHD because they're just like, they're in a classroom, you know, learning about whatever, just kind of staring at the wall. But it was like easy for them, you know? So I don't know.
yeah,
There's my 2 cents.
I don't have. I remember by high school, I had already developed a means to an end mentality. Mm-hmm. Like I knew, like I remember my last class of the day was accounting, and I used to skip the class and go to work. And my accounting teacher wrote on my report card that I'd been skipping class, and I was already financially on my own at the time. I lived with my mom, but my mom was like, I'm not paying for college. You know, my mom was a realist. So I would leave and go to work, and the teacher wrote, you know, absences of concern. I said, please don't write that. I said, I'm leaving your class. I'm going to work. Got a single mom, and I'm getting an A. Do we really have a problem?
Right.
So that kind of stuff. And then by college, I had gathered that, you know, nobody was going to know my grades. I just needed the degree. So there was a lot of cheating going on when I was at SUNY Binghamton. Sorry, it was a long time ago. I'm sure it doesn't go on anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's any statute of limitations on that.
So I would walk out of a test and go to work, and other people would go to the library. And my brain very often could carry me, which I was just grateful for. But I still could not do well on multiple choice exams because I could make too many of them true, and they would, you know, how they try to fuck you up with.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, I'm so easy to fuck up. Do we really need?
It's still a thing now.
I know, and one of my kids really, both of my kids, and again, not trying to personalize it, but there was if you can make an answer true, you can't discern the right answer because, and then the people who write the questions don't anticipate how we're looking at it. Like we could poke holes in the like Common Core was like like there's so many there's so many holes in it.
Yeah,
and you're taking something that's supposed to be precise and trying to like make it like numbers don't lie. Like let's not create an environment where precision doesn't exist. Yeah, so I think timing wise, I didn't, technology doesn't really bite me in finance until it comes to things like Zoom and establishing, financial reports aren't a problem. Yeah. And I, when I describe and talk to people, most of the people I attract as clients are similar in that they think in pictures. So I can create the pictures talking. And I'm big on fucking analogies. Always big on analogies, which I don't know. I like analogies.
It's an easy way for people to see what you're trying to explain without being.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think today, I don't know. I am looking forward to see where AI goes, but I understand there can be a huge dark side, and I
think it's still unfounded yet. There's still too much. There's too many places for it to grab from. That's my only hang up with it. I think it's great. We use it here. There's no kind of strange disclosure. We don't use it for everything, but it fucking helps, But there's also, like, if you're trying to use it for something else, that's where I get like a little, well, it can grab from anywhere,
I find that when I'm using it for myself, how I formulate the question really drives how the answer's derived. I don't, like where the podcast concerns, I hate it. But I also don't want to do what it does. So,
what you mean, like summarize things and stuff like that?
I hate it.
Yeah, to summarize episodes, to summarize things, to come up with, we do a lot of interview questions and things like that here. So it's like, I will use that as a jumping off point and be like, hey, X company's coming to do this. It starts, and then now my brain goes, okay, this is the direction I'm going to take. Like, you're not just relying on it so heavily, although unfortunately people are, and it's starting to show up in your colleges and your places like that,
Well, I think the amount of teachers, a friend of mine who's a teacher is heavily reliant on it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, finally we can destroy pensions. And yeah.
But yeah, that's where,
that's what that should be doing.
If you're relying on it too heavily for things like that, that already tells me that what you're doing is you're just saying, give me this, and then you're not even looking at it, so that you don't even know what's contained in the body of that. Because that's where, like, AI as a whole is going out over the entirety of the web, call it, right? So there's plenty of, I'm sure anybody that's on social media knows that there are hundreds of satire, like, newspapers that write totally false shit for the sake of being funny. And people never pay attention to the fact that that's real. And I see people like my, folks, family members who share shit out that, and it's like, what? No, that never happened. That's not even true.
The way that shows up for me, and I don't know if I'd be a good person to discern because I avoid. Well, let me not go there. But I know that philosophers are being bastardized on the like on YouTube and stuff.
Sure.
And that's obvious to me. Carl Jung has been the poor guy. That just people are utilizing his I don't even know what to say, but they've like attributed all the empathy shit to Carl Jung. He never spoke about empathy, but they're utilizing it to they're trying to do a good thing, but they're going about it in a way that's unfortunate. And I guess that's going to be inevitable. History is going to be rewritten.
That's where it's tough, because that's the kind of pieces that will have a hard time.
Yeah. What do you do?
Helping people.
What do you do? But that's, at the same time, if we would just make education less about that and more about the human beings learning, I don't like teachers using AI, and if, for me on the podcast, if I had a better memory, my memory it's not shot in the sense like in the dementia sense, but my memory. And that's why I was so glad that I read about what Dr. Laney said, because you can't have come through what I've come through and not have it have an effect. And you can't be 56 years old and be like, I don't care. I wish I cared more. Mm-hmm. Like very often on here, when I repeat myself or I'm talking about a subject, I'm like, does it really matter?
Yeah.
Do those descriptions of me really matter? I wish I had an ability, but we from early on, I said I don't want to do what AI does, because I come out of this and don't want to think about it.
Well, sure. That's the whole point of this, is to get people to think.
I had a teacher talk to me. It was really interesting. I always try to protect, but their child is going to go for an MBA. Mm. And the teacher was concerned that, finance was going to be replaced by AI. And I see the places that can and cannot be replaced in finance, whatever. And I said, I'd be less concerned about that. And I said, the MBA is what's obsolete. And I meant it to be funny. It didn't go over funny. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting
because it's true. That's why it wasn't funny.
Where one of my offspring is concerned, I had approached the college about getting financial licenses while still in college, because I basically said, you and I know that the education is not as needed anymore. So can we maximize the education so that when he comes out, he's got a leg up on others, which is great. And I actually talked to somebody in finance in recent weeks who is going to the colleges and instituting, getting younger people involved in finance, on a more independent basis and less corporate. Because the other thing that's happening is, and cycles change, is that younger people are more attracted to corporations again versus
which is interesting,
isn't it?
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it because of where we're at.
Yeah.
So there's some neat things. I've actually had a few interesting I wish I could talk about it here. I can't, but I'm pro-independent financial arrangements. I think I got to be careful. Fuck it.
No, it makes sense. Maybe I can say it. I don't know.
Well, when you have a
I'm not in finance. I push buttons.
No one's. I mean, yeah, it's somebody hearing this, but when you have a corporations that have an independent arm,
yeah,
their fiduciary responsibility is split to the shareholders.
Sure.
And their clients. That's fucking obvious to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it happens all the time. So there are some real visionaries, challenging that structure, which is the difference between conscious capitalism and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really like I wondered if doing this creative stuff was going to make me. I've had clients say, well, what are you going to do if, are you going to leave finance if your creative shit takes off? And I said, I don't think so. And after, excuse me, I can't believe I just did that. That wasn't like me. After doing this for however many months and even, knowing where it's going, I can't imagine leaving finance. It's just too. I love it.
It's a background that, like, I guess if you're in the right mindset, you're not going to get burned out from. It's interesting enough, like, you know.
No, and my interests are neurodiversity. My interests are talking to people who have come through trauma and find themselves, many of them often single. What I've come through, even though my marriage and divorce cost me $800,000, it is a sore spot. I'll show you where it is. It's made me a better advisor because it just helps me understand the magnitude of the problem with the middle class, what have you. And then the last thing is I have somebody who's interested in coming into the business who wants to help people with dementia have a relationship with their financial advisor that doesn't require, like right now, often people who are estranged, don't have children or whatever, find themselves with dementia, have an advisor, and then they have somebody outside with the POA, and we're trying to see if we can combine that. And I recognize...
That's really cool.
I recognize the obvious conflict of interest, but I thought then why not have a special designation and a higher level of... monitoring, that's not the
well,
way.
The security on that would have to be ridiculous, but
why not?
That's like, you know, going back to what I sort of poked fun at it at the beginning of this, saying, you know, like with the old folks and the technology, that's how the scammers from overseas are calling and saying, you know, this is the FBI, we need you to pay us, and, you know, money orders and Walmart gift cards and shit, and taking these older folks for a ride, you know. But how often do you see, it's like every other day in the news that, you know, the power of attorney for an old lady is bilking money out of them just the same, you know?
Yeah, there's got to be more
or treasurers from fire departments and shit.
What?
I said, or treasurers from fire departments. It's always youth sports and fire departments. Paying for vacations. I don't know.
I had a situation where I bought something on the internet, and it was a foreign company, I won't say which country, representing an American company. Yeah. I didn't even think about it. I bought what I bought, and it took a while to arrive, and then it occurred to me it had come from a foreign country, and the item wasn't anything like it was described. Yeah. And I went to the company, said I could get a refund, and they said, yeah, but it's going to cost you $40-something to send it back to us. I said, but you impersonated an American company.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Nobody's immune from it. I just got hit with my Lowe's credit card information was stolen. Myself and, you know, how many other people, they ended up catching the people who did it. But there was two fellas who are probably on a plane back to wherever it was that they came from right now, that because they got caught with over $100 and something thousand of theft from credit cards from Lowe's stores from Philadelphia on up to here. And it was something as simple as, like, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only person that, like, the only contact I have with my wife all day long when I'm at work is usually a text message from her going, send me that code. Because it's her trying to pay a bill or something, like, online, you know, and it's on, like, my account that she needs information for. And it was when you and I were recording an episode. We were sitting here, and my phone's going off with the Lowe's bank thing, and it happened like 3 times, and I couldn't text her because we had someone on the phone, and I just hit the button, and it went, thank you for your verification. And then I kind of went, oh no, you know, and then sure as hell, like, probably an hour after you left, I'm logging into my Lowe's thing, and somebody spent $1,400 in Lowe's in East Stroudsburg. So yeah, pretty cool. They even get people who are smart-ish like me.
I had another situation where I joined an online dating thing for 1 week, said I don't want a renewal.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to try it. And they renewed me for however many weeks before I noticed it. And it was outside the 30-day window. Mm-hmm. And there's no phone number.
Nope.
And there's no, I don't know. I see something like that, I'll fight. Because I just I also got the foreign company on the thing that I ordered to give me 40% back. Sure. And I am going after the other 60 just because
just because I feel like it.
Well, I did, but also if this is affecting the typical population, it's affecting autistics more because I just don't expect it. Like sometimes people will say things to me and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I get that," but it's just that extra kick in the teeth that now not only do I have to be I have to be paying attention because this stuff is going on, but I have to pay extra attention because shit's flying over my head.
Sure. Yep.
And I have very good logic, but I don't have good common sense. And it bites you.
Some folks just don't have both. It's very rare. I always make the joke, you could be book smart, you could be street smart. Most folks lack one or the other. That's not 100% true. That's a joke.
Yeah,
You're a comedian. You should get it.
I try to apply it to myself because I don't think I don't overanalyze my intelligence because I feel like it's I wouldn't change it because of what I can do, but I'm really aware of what I can't do. And I think that would make more people try to improve what they can't do. And I just go, nope, not interested.
Yeah.
I wish I was different, but no, I don't. It's just the way it is. It
is what it is.
What I can do, and what I can. One of my favorite lines is when I call a company or I call when I need assistance. I say, "Talk to me like I'm 4." And then that works better than I'm autistic, because then you have the people that start like this. And I'm like, oh, you don't know what I mean. Let's go with talk to me like I'm 4.
A lot of people have to do that, because you know what? I think a lot of times, especially like sometimes in this world, like we'll run into people that like to use the words to make them sound way smarter than they actually might be. And it's like, don't fucking patronize me. Just tell me. Like, hey, is this like this? And instead of getting a yes, they go, well, shut up.
There are words that I will hear and should know what they mean, but have to look them up. And I would never admit that.
Yeah.
I would never admit that. I just did, but I would never admit that.
That happens to me a lot of times too.
And I don't mean necessarily if somebody uses a word and I don't know what it means, in that case I'll ask. But I mean a word that I should know the meaning. and that is, I don't mean cat or hat, but but I mean something where I'll go, "Ooh, I should know what that means. What does that mean? I forget." And I'll look it up. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make for remembering it. It just satisfies the 2 seconds I need it for.
That's it.
So what else are we going to talk about?
We don't have to. We're at 33 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We just bullshitted our way through a whole episode. This was fun.
Really?
Sometimes you need to just...
Isn't that what I do all the time?
Well, this one was a little more... That was fun.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and supporting Natural Born Redhead. If you follow the bouncing balls, please like and subscribe. If you know someone interested in sparing others grief and inciting joy, message me on Facebook or reach out via my website, Natural Born Redhead. J-Ma.